The reception hall glowed with strands of golden lights, soft music flowing from the quartet in the corner. Guests danced, laughed, and clinked glasses, their joy mingling with the warmth of the evening. At one of the back tables, a woman sat quietly, her hands folded neatly in her lap. Her wheelchair, sleek and polished, seemed to place her apart from the whirl of celebration. Her name was Elena Rivera, a powerhouse in the business world, known for building a multi-million-dollar tech company from the ground up. Yet here, surrounded by tulle and roses, she wasn't Elena, the CEO. She was just a woman sitting alone, watching others twirl in pairs. She smiled when eyes met hers, but knew few would come her way, their laughter floating past like a tide she wasn't invited to join. Weddings had a way of amplifying solitude, and tonight was no different. Elena had told herself she didn't mind. She had business proposals waiting in her bag, emails unanswered, plans that could distract her from this hollow ache. But truthfully, she had hoped someone might sit beside her, ask her to dance, or even just talk. She adjusted her silk dress, its emerald shade shimmering softly under the lights, and reminded herself she belonged here just as much as anyone else. Her friend the bride had insisted she attend, saying Elena needed a break from her work-driven life. Elena had agreed reluctantly, not wanting to dampen the celebration. Now, watching couples drift across the dance floor, she wondered if maybe she had been right to resist. It was easier to stay busy than to feel left out. Across the room, a man in a tailored navy suit shifted uncomfortably, his eyes scanning the crowd. His daughter, a lively 7-year-old with curls bouncing around her shoulders, tugged at his hand. "Daddy, everyone has someone," she whispered, her small voice carrying a note of longing. The man, Daniel Hayes, a single father who worked tirelessly as an architect, bent down to meet her eyes. He smiled gently, though there was weariness behind it. "It's okay, sweetheart. We've got each other." Still, as he straightened, his gaze landed on the woman in the wheelchair. Something about her quiet poise struck him. Not pity, but intrigue. He had seen her arrive earlier, had noticed the way she moved with grace despite the chair, the way her eyes carried both strength and distance. His daughter followed his line of sight, then whispered with a grin, "She looks like a princess." Daniel chuckled softly at his daughter's innocent honesty, though his chest tightened at the thought. He considered walking over, but hesitated. What if she thought he was being condescending? What if she rejected him? He wasn't a man who feared much. He'd raised his child alone, rebuilt a life after heartbreak, but vulnerability in moments like this was different. Yet something told him he'd regret it if he let the night pass without at least trying. Taking a steadying breath, he turned to his daughter. "Want to help me ask her something?" The little girl nodded eagerly, her hand slipping into his, her eyes wide with excitement. Together they walked across the dance floor, past tables of laughter and champagne, toward the woman who sat alone. Elena glanced up as they approached, her practiced smile ready, though her heart gave a nervous flutter. She was used to stares, used to people hesitating before speaking to her, but there was no hesitation in the child's steps. The little girl stopped right in front of her, beaming. "Hi. I'm Lily. This is my daddy." Elena's lips curved into a genuine smile, her posture relaxing at the girl's openness. "Hello, Lily, and hello, Daddy." Daniel chuckled at the greeting, rubbing the back of his neck. "I'm Daniel. And, well, this is a bit untraditional, but I was wondering, would you be my date for the rest of the evening?" For a moment, Elena blinked, her mind scrambling to process his words. People rarely asked her things like that. They made polite conversation, offered small talk, sometimes sympathy, but never this. She studied his face, trying to see if it was a joke or pity disguised as kindness, but his eyes held neither. They were steady, sincere, with just enough nervousness to make him seem human, not rehearsed. Lily tugged at Elena's hand, her excitement contagious. "Please, say yes." "Daddy never asks anyone." Alina laughed softly, her walls crumbling under the child's innocence and the father's quiet courage. "How could I say no to that?" she said, her voice warm. The three of them shared a table. And suddenly the night felt less like a reminder of loneliness and more like the beginning of something unexpected. Daniel asked her about her company. And though Alina usually hated talking business at social events, she found herself enjoying his curiosity. He didn't ask with awe or intimidation, but genuine interest. Lily chimed in often, asking if Elena's company built robots and whether she could visit her office someday. Elena laughed, charmed by the little girl's energy, feeling lighter than she had in months. Her chair no longer felt like a barrier, and the crowded hall no longer seemed like a cage. When the music shifted to a slow, romantic melody, couples drifted to the dance floor again. Daniel glanced at Elena, uncertainty flickering in his expression. "Would you like to?" He hesitated, unsure how to phrase it without sounding clumsy. Elena smiled knowingly. "I'd love to." With practiced ease, she maneuvered her chair, and Daniel stepped close, moving with her in rhythm. It wasn't a traditional dance, but it was theirs, and Lily clapped her hands in delight from the sidelines. For the first time that night, Elena felt not like an outsider, but like a woman truly seen, valued, and wanted. As the evening wore on, their conversation deepened. Daniel spoke of raising Lily alone, of the struggles and the joy, and Elena listened with empathy that surprised even herself. She shared pieces of her journey to the accident that had changed her life, the years of building her career, the loneliness that came with power. Daniel didn't flinch at any of it. He didn't pity her or romanticize her strength. He simply listened, as if every word mattered. And in his listening, Elena found a kind of peace she hadn't realized she was missing. When the bride came by to greet them. She raised her brows with a knowing smile, seeing Elena's laughter and the sparkle in her eyes. "Looks like you're enjoying yourself," she teased. Elena blushed faintly, realizing how unusual it was for her to be so at ease with strangers. Daniel smiled too, protective but not possessive, proud but not performative. It was a quiet kind of companionship, built in just a few hours, yet it felt sturdy enough to last beyond the night. Lily leaned against Elena's chair, already comfortable, as if she had found another safe space. As the night wound down, Daniel walked Elena to the door, Lily skipping ahead with the bride's bouquet she had managed to snag. The cool night air wrapped around them, and for a moment, neither wanted to say goodbye. Daniel cleared his throat, his voice lower now. "I don't usually do this, but I'd really like to see you again. Not just tonight, not just here." Elena's lips parted, her heart thudding. She had built her life on independence, on not needing anyone, but something about this man and his daughter made her want to say yes. "I'd like that too," she admitted softly. They exchanged numbers, and as Daniel helped Elena into her car, he found himself smiling more than he had in years. Lily leaned from the back seat, waving goodbye, already asking when they could visit Elena again. Elena drove away that night with a strange warmth in her chest, a hope she hadn't dared to entertain before. For once, she wasn't thinking about boardrooms or deadlines. She was thinking about a little girl's laughter and a man's steady eyes. In the days that followed, their connection grew. Coffee dates turned into dinners, casual conversations into heartfelt confessions. Elena discovered that love didn't mean losing independence, and Daniel realized that opening his heart again didn't mean betraying the past. Together, they created a rhythm that was imperfect but real, stitched with laughter, patience, and trust. And every time Elena wheeled into a room where Daniel and Lily were waiting, she felt something she hadn't in years, like she wasn't sitting alone anymore. At another wedding months later. Elena didn't sit at the edge of the room, She sat between Daniel and Lily, her hand intertwined with his, laughter echoing around them. And when the music began, Daniel leaned close and whispered the same question as that first night. His voice tender. "Will you be my date?" Elena's smile was radiant, her answer steady. "Always sing,